Saw this. Bearish on Tesla. Could expect issues/recalls. I'm sure this is going to be good.
Let's talk some stock specifics, do a little bit of trading in a few of the favorite growth categories. Joining us, Francisco Beto is SVP and Senior Portfolio Manager at FM Integrated Alpha. And we're going to talk a couple groups here, two sectors and stocks in particular. Francisco, welcome back to the show. Because you got something you like, something you don't like so much. Tesla's up this morning, but it's kind of been stuck under $300 and far removed from many of its mega cap peers making all-time highs. Seems like you don't think they're going to catch up anytime soon.
Yeah, that's correct. I think they face pretty much structural headwinds going forward into 2024 and beyond due to increasing competition.
We're off to a great start here. Day 6,000 or so of the competition is coming. Hope it's got a little bit more ammunition because this first shot is a complete blank, total dud.
And the way that, their supply chain and everything is very vertical integrated. So,
wait, what? I'm sorry. We have to rewind. Did he just come out of the gates suggesting that Tesla has issues predominantly because of competition and being extremely vertically integrated? Am I imagining things? I have to hear that again.
Going forward into 2024 and beyond due to increasing competition and the way that, their supply chain and everything is very vertical integrated. So,
okay. Hopefully he clarifies, because especially on that vertical integration. Oh boy.
They're going to face that kind of headwind as well as some consumers' concerns due to recalls on the Cybertruck and so on. So it.
Oh, fuck. This is classic, bro. I had no idea what I was in for when I started watching this video, but obviously the title suggested someone was a bit bearish. He just said recalls of the Cybertruck. Now, look, he may have misspoken, but I can't give this guy a pass. The competition is coming. Tesla's vertical integration is a risk factor, and apparently they're going to face issues with recalls of the Cybertruck. Now, let's pretend that he didn't mean the Cybertruck. Let's pretend that what he meant, maybe he did, was that there will be recalls and separately also Cybertruck bad/hard to ramp up. That's the most generous interpretation. So it appears he's bought into the over-the-air software updates are recalls narrative. We're 1 minute into this video and this guy has just absolutely barbecued himself. 3 from 3. Now you guys might notice, last couple of days, there's been more coverage. Tesla recalls 120,000 vehicles, which once again is an over-the-air software update. It's hard to take somebody seriously who's speaking to finance media. Bearish on Tesla, using throwaway comments regarding recalls without clarifying what he really means is software updates. I have a question. Do you think this guy, sorry, I didn't pay attention to his name, actually knows that these quote-unquote recalls are software updates? You would hope if you're appearing in the media and have a negative opinion about a particular company and by proxy its stock, that you would have your facts right. So you would hope that he does know these are just over-the-air software updates. But if that were the case, I'm not sure exactly why a company's ability to demonstrate their technological prowess by making instant over-the-air updates to vehicles as necessary. I'm not sure why you'd be presenting that as bearish when it's in fact extremely bullish, considering the fact that other companies, should I bring up some names? Yeah, let's do it. Haven't even figured out how to do over-the-air software updates. Now, what do we have here? Chevy issues software-related stop sale of the Blazer EV. The issue is not safety-related and affects a limited number of the electric midsize crossovers, Chevy said. So, while Tesla's issuing instantaneous over-the-air software updates, Chevy's ceasing the sale of Blazer electric vehicles because their software's fucked. And apparently they can't update it over the air, but in fact it's so dire they've stopped producing them. That's awkward. And now a story in 4 parts. This from Motor Trend. The Ford F-150 Lightning is the 2023 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. A few moments later. Our last Ford F-150 Lightning EV pickup road trip was a nightmare. An emergency road trip reveals serious chinks in our F-150 Lightning's armour. Oh, how unfortunate. But this is the one that I really wanted to get to. From Motor Trend again. The Chevrolet Blazer EV is the 2024 Motor Trend SUV of the year. Once again, the bow-tied brand proves its leadership in the electric vehicle space. And then today's headline, rip the Blazer EV. Talk about that competition coming and recalls. And one more for good measure, in case you missed it recently, came across this on X. This is in a Mustang marquee from Ford. Customer attempted to do a software update. Update not successful. Unfortunately, a recent software update was not successful and your vehicle is now fucked. You can't drive it. Sucked in. Please call customer support. And here are some instructions for the inevitable and necessary tow truck operator to tow your bricked vehicle that our software broke to a dealership for us to unfuck. Anyway, back to old mate explaining why he's bearish on Tesla.
It's very early on for them, so I think the market got overexcited about them. I would sell, and buy them on a big pull down and on a significant pull down.
The Tesla story here seems to be pretty mixed because they certainly demonstrated production prowess on the EVs compared to GM and Ford this past year. But then to your point, too, just the financials are not as compelling as buying, a big cap, stable tech company that has been the favorite of investors the past year. So which part don't you like about it? Like, what's the biggest drag in your mind?
For Tesla, it would be the basically the competition.
Oh, here we go again. It's the end of 2023. The competition's coming. Hard to take this guy seriously, and I'm trying my best. But of all the things you could possibly say, surely the least credible of all is that the competition is coming. In the US alone, in an embarrassing about face, on which I was completely wrong, GM and Ford have both publicly announced they're slowing down their transition to EVs. Now, why would you do that? Well, I've speculated in previous videos, I won't rehash my thoughts. We also know, since Ford is separately reporting their electric vehicle financials every quarter, that they're losing around 75% per electric vehicle sold. We're also seeing the likes of Lucid Motors struggling to sell through production. We see other companies with going concerns on the verge of bankruptcy. Even within China, the world's most mature electric vehicle market, the majority of companies in China selling electric vehicles in China are losing money doing so. Most of them won't make it. And the few that are producing decent electric vehicles with tiny profit margins. I mean, we just saw latest Chevy EV with a halt in production due to a software issue. We've seen Ford bricking a Mustang marquee with a software issue. It wasn't that long ago that the F-150 Lightning production was completely halted due to an issue, a big safety issue. I mean, it is true, the competition is coming. Embarrassingly fast and all over themselves. Not for Tesla. I hope this guy's got some decent points here. I mean, he's right now we're seeing, it's like somebody's programmed an NPC Wall Street analyst persona. This is like the top 10 dirt moments from analysts covering Tesla over the last 10 years rolled into one person.
Facing the competition and the fact that in order to keep those margins, it's hard to keep those margins while they're lowering prices. I mean, it's just the basic economics behind it. So that they got that structural pressure that it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. And you got to wonder, they're doing something significantly different than what they've done in the past, to merit a much higher stock share price. And it's not happening.
Shit. Now, look, I'll give him half a point. If it wasn't true that the cost to produce electric vehicles, Teslas in particular, was trending lower over time, especially batteries. If it wasn't true that Tesla was deleting parts and processes and driving their costs down, and if it was also true that Tesla would continue selling their vehicles for lower price points if their costs weren't coming down, then yes, their margins would compress further, although, as we know, their costs are coming down. But hey, we'll give him half a point on that. I've got to be semi-reasonable. But the second thing he said there, we have to listen to that again. He claims that they're not doing anything different.
Anytime soon. And you got to wonder, they're doing something significantly different than what they've done in the past, to merit a much higher stock share price. And it's not happening.
Got a funny feeling that our NPC friend here may not have seen the humanoid robot update, may not be aware of what's happening with FSD, may not be aware that company after company are lining up to Tesla to adopt their charging standard and gain access to their supercharging network. The fact that Tesla has disclosed a major automotive manufacturer have already been in talks about licensing FSD. Does Dojo ring a bell? No. Real world AI? No. Aggressively recruiting for AI? No. Tesla AI Day? No. Next gen vehicle? No. Cybertruck? No. Good point. Tesla's not doing anything different. In fact, they're the same company they were a decade ago. Oh shit, this is hard to watch, man.
What's interesting is even after some of those price cuts, their margins are still better than Ford GM. So I guess that's not their competition. Are you talking about some of the other EV startups? Who's the biggest threat to Tesla in your mind?
Well, I would go into Asia, to the Chinese market, basically, and look at the battery makers and so on, and they can probably produce a lot more of the same with a lot more cost efficiency.
Now, don't want to be too hard on this guy, but is he going to actually name a specific company as opposed to an entire country? Because remember, when we drill down, of the few companies in China actually making money selling electric vehicles, and as a percentage of all the companies selling electric vehicles in China, it ain't many. Very few are making any meaningful profit margins. BYD is roughly 1/6 Tesla's current profit margin per vehicle sold, last I recall. Now, it is certainly fair to say that in a distant second place after Tesla are Chinese automotive manufacturers, but I would hope, given the fact that this guy is willing to be specific on Tesla and name Tesla as a company he's bearish on, he'd also be willing to provide some specificity in terms of the actual companies, when he was asked about them, that will be actual competition for Tesla as opposed to just broadly, oh, China. Let's see.
So they're the biggest threat. It's a global market, and I think Tesla has to be the first one in the market, basically with a compelling case for EVs and so on, to get a good market share. But at the end of the day, they're not going to go much further than that unless they can produce a $25,000 car in the U.S. I don't even know. He must know about it, right? And he's suggesting they're not going to be able to do it. You wouldn't just randomly point out that in order for them to scale to the next level, at least in automotive, that they'd need a much more affordable vehicle. Because true, and they've literally detailed the manufacturing systems for this very vehicle in a presentation months ago. I'm kind of confused. Is he about to say they said they're going to make one, but I don't think it's possible? Or bro, I'm struggling here. And so on, and that's going to be hard to do that and maintain margins.
Okay. Margins right now are definitely a big part of the story, especially after all the labor stuff ate into Ford and GM. Tesla deserves some credit, though, for not dealing with all that. It seems like their employees are pretty happy.
Tesla's a great company, but I got to look at it from a different perspective. I got to look at it from the stock, from the share price, and see what it's doing and where it's going to go. So it doesn't negate the fact that they're a great company, that they've done great things for their employees, and they got a bright future. But in relative terms, do I want to invest in Tesla right now, or would I rather wait? I'd rather wait.
Well, thanks for the layup, my man. I'm tempted to revisit my evergreen video, waiting for Tesla stock to dip. Good luck. As I said in that video, and I do say it's evergreen for a reason, waiting for Tesla stock to dip might, keyword might, pay off. But historically, since the company IPO'd, this has been a very poor strategy. For every one person watching who's about to bust a nut in the comments explaining how I waited for Tesla stock to dip and I got it right, I'm a genius, there's going to be 100 people that say, yeah, I thought I was going to wait for Tesla stock to dip too, because everyone kept saying it was overvalued. Then it 10x'd on me. I never came back. I regret that. Now again, anything can happen to the stock. Waiting could pay off. But if I'm weighing up probabilities and the risk, I'd rather take on board the risk of having bought the stock and then it coming back, which is what I'm currently doing, keep buying with every spare cent, as opposed to waiting on the sidelines hoping that the stock goes lower. Why? Because I'm looking into the future. I've built a valuation model, a bunch of different scenarios, and even in the worst case, Tesla today, to me, still the best risk-adjusted opportunity that I'm aware of in the stock market. And I do want to underscore, the strategy of waiting might work out. Just like rolling up to a roulette table and putting all your money on number 21 might work out. But it's not a bet I'd personally make. Let's get up close and personal with Tesla stock and see. The strategy of waiting, does it make sense? Tesla stock, IPOs, $1.28, 2nd of July, 2010, first day the stock closes. Imagine your plan was to wait for the stock to dip. Let's see what happened subsequent to its IPO. Closes at $1.28. Soon after, it's $1.38, $1.31, $1.34, $1.36, $1.63, $2.10, $1.78. Still above IPO price. Now, of course, there may have been moments where it got below there, but the trend is fairly clear. By the time we get to 2012, Tesla stock still above its IPO price, in the $2 range, sometimes in the high ones. Back from the 2nd of June, let's go till the 2nd of June 2013. Close enough. Tesla stock up about 400% in its first 3 years following the IPO. In the first 2 years, up about close to 60%. So in theory, if you thought Tesla was overpriced at IPO and you thought you'd wait for the stock to dip, 2 years later, you go, oh, well, that didn't work out. I guess I'll buy now, and you're paying nearly 60% more. Had you waited 3 years, you'd be paying over 400% more. Let's try 5 years, roughly 1,000% more. Let's reset from early June 2014, roughly 4 years after Tesla IPO'd. Maybe things changed. Roughly a year later, early June 2015, Tesla stock up about 20%, which is after doing the 10x since IPO. Did waiting for the stock to dip make sense? Now, I'm not trying to be tricky here. This is why I'm using the exact same date, or as close as I can. The chart doesn't go every single day, so it skips a few days, but I'm not trying to be disingenuous here. I'm just trying to use the exact same point every year, middle of the year, roughly, early June, see what happens. So, waiting for Tesla stock to dip from 2014. No, it's too high, man. It's already gone up 10x since IPO. I'm going to wait for it to come back. Well, that didn't work out so well, did it? Let's add another year. Mid-2016. Well, good news. It's a little bit cheaper than it was a year ago, but guess what? Still up since you started waiting and still a 10x since IPO. Let's reset. Let's just say that you decided, okay, well, now's the time I'm going to start waiting. Let's see what happens from early June 2016. Roughly a year later, the stock surged over 60%. Congratulations, your strategy of waiting for Tesla stock to dip, certainly paying off. Let's wait another year. Congratulations, now you're only paying an extra 45%. Well done, you are a genius. Let's do another reset. This is going to work out well. Congratulations, sir or madam, you are an investing genius. In fact, an investing god, and I would like to subscribe to your newsletter. This is the first instance since Tesla's IPO, almost 10 years on, in which waiting over a period of a year, waiting for Tesla stock to dip would have actually paid off. You can now buy it about 35% less than it was a year prior. Tesla stock plunging toward the middle of 2019. Congratulations, but still a solid 10x or more from its IPO price. So imagine at this point, Tesla stock having collapsed about 35% over the preceding 12 months. You think, well, it's definitely going lower because the media told me Tesla's going bankrupt. I'm going to wait, even though it's already down 35%. Let's wait a little bit more. Let's see what happens a year later. Up about 300%. Another year, up over 1,200%. Roughly another year, it's now up about 1,500%. How's that waiting for Tesla stock to dip working out? Another year later, still up about 1,600%. And as I record this, still around 1,600%. Hope I've demonstrated that on average, the strategy of waiting for Tesla stock to dip since IPO has not been a winning one. Now, it's certainly true. If you have an IQ of 69 and think it's 300, you'll confidently believe that, look, I could have timed the market. Look, there's been times when it came down a lot since its peak. I knew that I should sell in mid-November 2021 and then buy back again exactly at the bottom in early 2023. I could have made a zillion percent on my, look, see, I could be up 123% if I waited for the biggest peak to crash on Tesla stock before I bought. 123%. Nobody could have beaten that. That's a huge return, 123%, which has occurred once since Tesla IPO'd in, let's call it about 13 years. That's the best return if you're a timing lord, an investing genius with a time machine and a crystal ball. The best you could have done waiting for Tesla stock to dip, employing that strategy, would have been to make about 123%. I mean, it's not bad, but you know what's better? 1,230%. Just want to show you guys two more examples to really drive the point home. Amazon stock IPO'd, split adjusted at 9 cents per share. Today, $153 per share. Pretty decent return. Now, there's certainly points in time where you could have waited to buy the dip. It would have worked out on Amazon too, but on average, not a winning strategy. And the same can be said for Apple. Split adjusted IPO at 11 US cents per share. Today, $193 per share. And as you can see, the trend is pretty clear. Betting against growth, betting against innovation, betting against a technological leader, multiple moats, in my opinion, not a winning strategy. The worst thing that can possibly happen is when somebody who thinks that they're an intelligent investor, by chance, does time the market, just so happening to sell roughly at the right time, buy roughly at the right time, add a little bit of narcissism and maybe even some sociopathy, and next minute, they think they're a god, they're better than you, they're smarter than you, the world's greatest investor of all time, and then they begin to start doubling down on their actions, thinking, well, it worked once, it's obviously going to work again, my reasoning was on point, I'll just keep doing it. Next minute, somebody who, through luck, made a great return once, doubles down and vaporizes their capital, and possibly, they speak out loud about their plans and intentions and predictions, possibly also vaporizing their reputation. Of course, I'm not naming names here, it's just a hypothetical example. But does anyone remember what people were saying about Tesla near $100 per share at the beginning of 2023? Because I've got a long memory. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. It's an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point. It's something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1 shit, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, snake oil salmon sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.